Right. Good evening and happy Independence Day to everyone. Awesome. It's so nice to see all of you here today. So why are we all here? Okay. I ask this question very often and the answer remains the same. We are all here to learn something new, something interesting, or something that we are passionate about. And that is the essence of Enlightened Sapiens. We are a community that encourages you to grow and learn with the things that you love, so that when you're ready, you can give back with this knowledge, making it easier for someone else to do the same. They don't have to go through the same struggles as you did to gain that knowledge. And today, we have Pravin Manker ji, who wishes to give back with his knowledge on the mind and mindfulness in general. So Pravin ji is the founder of Pratibim, which is a volunteer-driven NGO that was established to promote peace and harmony within oneself. And when we are ready in our surroundings, that means for our family, our society, our country, as well as the world, right? So for today's session, he's going to make us understand the mind a bit better. I think we all will agree that there can be no positive change without the cooperation of the mind. And he's going to make us understand the mind a bit better, remove certain misconceptions of the mind. And then when we are ready and settled, he's going to end the session with a guided meditation for all of us. All of y'all, many of y'all have attended our sessions before. You'll know all our sessions are interactive. There will be enough opportunities to ask your questions. You can use the raise hand button, which is there in the participants option, or use the chat box to ask your questions. But keep the chat box clean so that only the relevant questions and important questions can be taken. Awesome. So over to you, Pravin ji.
Thank you, Karan. Good evening, everyone, and wish you all a happy Independence Day. I hope you can see me on your screens. I'm going to share a presentation, so please let me know if the presentation is visible. Great. Namaste, all of you. The human being is made up of three components. One is the body, the second is the mind, and the third is the energy that energizes both the body and the mind. Most of us know a fair bit about the body, but a large majority is completely in the dark about the mind and the functioning of the mind. And today we are going to look at how the mind functions. It's a small component of your life, but it's a very valuable component of your life. So here is a question which Karan has put up. Which of these could be a factor of mental health issue? Yeah, you have skin rashes, anxiety, running nose, heart attack, arthritis, phobias, cancer. Yeah, as expected, most of you have opted for anxiety as the major mental issue.
We still have a few more people to answer. Y'all can choose more than one option. We'll give another 10 seconds for y'all all to get an opportunity to answer. 100 of y'all have already answered. In the meantime, Pravin ji, if you can just disable the annotation. Everyone, we're here to learn. Please respect the platform and the time that we are giving, and everyone has taken, so please don't annotate the screen. Thank you.
Okay.
Pravin ji, you just have to disable the annotation.
I've done that.
Okay, just you can. Okay.
So shall we go ahead?
Yes, I'll just share the results. You can just clear the screen as well.
Great. As expected, anxiety takes and phobias take the top of the list. We will talk about this response later. Yeah. So let's discover what the mind has to do with the human existence. So let me share with you my credentials. My name is Pravin Manker and those are my contact details. Okay, let's take the birth of a mind. How is a mind born? It begins at the conception stage itself when the male sperm unites with the ovum. The mind begins to take shape. And in the process of the development of the human body for 9 months in the womb of the mother, an entire human being is getting developed. But if you ask the mother which part of the body was formed on which particular day, she is not able to answer that. Neither is the father able to answer that, nor does the baby know which part was formed on which day. But there is some accurate mechanism and knowledge that is functioning in all this. And somebody is guiding this process of constructing a human body inside the womb of the mother, which is very accurate. Anywhere in the world, you will have a similar human being formed in the wombs of mothers. The head is in the same place, the eyes are in the same place, the arms, the legs, all organs are fitted exactly in the same place. So what kind of programming is this? Somebody is managing this accuracy from somewhere remote. And then after 9 months in the womb, the baby is formed. Karan, is there a way to get rid of this line?
Yes, just in the annotate option, there's clear all drawings on your screen.
On the annotate.
Yes. It's clear all drawings.
Clear all drawings.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So in the womb of the mother, a baby is formed, ready, and it gets delivered. After delivery, the control over the baby is in the hands of his parents and the society around him. But before that, somebody is controlling the action inside the womb of the mother. And that somebody or something is known as universal mind. And sometimes people prefer to call it God's mind. So it is God who is guiding the process of manufacturing the baby in the womb of the mother. In the baby itself, this is known as the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind takes birth at conception and then is instrumental in executing the commands under the guidance of the universal mind so that a perfect human being is formed in the womb. After delivery, the conscious mind starts taking shape. What is the conscious mind? Conscious mind is the awareness mind. The newborn baby starts getting aware of the environment around him. Before delivery, his environment was the amniotic fluid. He was not in contact with air. All his nutrition was coming through the mother. But once the baby is delivered into the world, he comes into contact with the air and then he has to start the process of breathing. So the conscious mind starts aware of the foreign environment in which the baby is delivered. And from that moment onwards, through the process of growing up and the upbringing by the society, the conscious mind is shaped. And we will see in detail how this process happens. So first, let us have a look at the types of minds for us to understand the complexity of a human mind. So here you have the universal mind, which is available everywhere in the universe. We are interested in planet Earth. So the universal mind also envelops the Earth and it is responsible for all creation. It has the templates and the know-how and the energy to create anything and everything in the world in which we live. So there is a subconscious mind in the womb of the dog, in the womb of the cat, in the egg of a bird. Any living thing that has been created on the face of this earth has been created under the guidance of universal mind or God's mind and according to the program fitted in the genetics of each species. Then the person, we are talking of human beings, then the person is delivered into the universe and the society takes over. When I say society, it begins with the parents of the child. And whatever the conditions in which the child is born, that society dominates over the construction of the conscious mind. And we will see how this happens. Before we go into how the mind gets formed, let us look at the properties of the mind so that we will understand what is happening within us. So to understand the mind properly, we have divided it for convenience sake into the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is a subjective mind. It does not have the faculty of reasoning or analysis. It accepts whatever is communicated to it. It never reasons, it never decides. But it's also a fantastic mind because it never sleeps and it never forgets. So these two strong qualities of the subconscious mind enable us to live even when we are asleep. The subconscious mind takes birth before we are delivered in the universe, that means in the womb of the mother, and it continues to exist till we breathe our last. The subconscious mind is also like a soldier. The soldier never questions the commands of the general. It obeys absolutely, no questions asked. And the subconscious mind is 9/10 of the iceberg. If you were to compare the entire human mind to an iceberg, then the subconscious mind is the submerged portion of the iceberg, 9/10 of which is not visible, and it is a major component of the entire iceberg. So the entire human mind is largely the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is only 1/10 of that iceberg. So let's go to the conscious mind. The conscious mind is the objective mind. It's the logical mind. It reasons. Whatever inputs are fed to the conscious mind, it applies logic, it reasons out, and it comes to conclusions and takes decisions. The conscious mind also sleeps, and it also forgets. And it starts developing only after our delivery in the world, after birth. But the conscious mind is a very powerful mind. It's like a general in the army, and it likes to give commands. And the soldier, the obedient soldier, is the subconscious mind, and it accepts everything without question. The conscious mind is 1/10 of the iceberg. That means it's a very tiny portion of the total mind. Now, when I say the conscious mind sleeps and forgets, and the subconscious mind never sleeps and never forgets, these are two important features of the human mind. Conscious mind is the awareness mind. I become aware of things consciously. And when I sleep, I am unaware of my surroundings. What are the organs for my awareness? The organs of senses enable me to become aware of my universe. So I can see things, I can hear things, I can smell things, taste things, and touch things. So these 5 strong suits that I have as sense organs enable me to perceive my external environment. Now, when I am sleeping, all these faculties are switched off. So, for example, if I am walking on the street and I see somebody coming towards me, as the person approaches me, I suddenly realize that this is my friend Rahul, because I recognize his contours, I recognize his features, I recognize the gait in which he walks. So I recognize that this is my friend Rahul. I become aware of the presence of a friend approaching me. When that thought occurs in my conscious mind, it sends a signal to my mind, hey, this is a character you know. The subconscious mind is the executive mind. It executes the commands. Now, as soon as I have recognized Rahul as a friend coming towards me, my subconscious mind is programmed to greet my friends. Naturally, it gives commands to my facial muscles, which erupts into a smile. My eyes light up, and I say, hi, Rahul. And even I wave out to him. So what has the subconscious mind done? the subconscious mind has executed a command which has been put into my subconscious mind through association with Rahul for a number of years, when I became aware that Rahul is friend worthy and I made him a friend. So I am aware of Rahul's presence because I saw him. Now I am sleeping in my bedroom and Rahul visits my house and he is brought to my bedroom. Look, your friend, lazy fellow, is sleeping. So he comes into the room, but I am not aware that Rahul is around. So I don't greet him. Since I am sleeping, the conscious mind is sleeping and the subconscious mind does not respond. Now you will say, when you are sleeping, your eyes are closed. Agreed. I have not seen Rahul. But I heard Rahul talking to my wife. My ears are open. The sound of Rahul's voice has entered my ears. But I am sleeping. My conscious mind is sleeping. So I am unaware of the presence of Rahul in the room. And therefore my subconscious mind is unaware that here is a friend. And therefore I don't execute the programmed command that, hi Rahul, how are you? Because I am sleeping. So the conscious mind sleeps when I sleep. Again, the conscious mind forgets a lot of things. Now, when I went through the school, almost 10, 12 years, I was perhaps taught by 45 to 50 different teachers in different classes for different subjects. Today, if you ask me to name all the 50 teachers who taught me in school, I will struggle to remember the names. I might barely remember 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names, depending on my affinity and relationship with those teachers. But suppose an old school friend brings a photograph of our 3rd standard classroom class photograph and points out to a lady in that photograph and says, do you recognize her? No, God, who is she? I don't even recall her face. I don't even remember her name. I have forgotten. That lady had associated with me for almost 9-10 months when I was in third standard, and maybe thereafter when I used to cross her in the corridors of the school. But today, after 43, 40, 50 years having left the school, I don't remember who this person is. Still my friend says, oh, don't you remember Mrs. DeMello? She was our English teacher. She was also our class teacher and she was the English teacher. Oh, yes. Now I recollect. I had completely forgotten Mrs. DeMello. What happened? My conscious mind the memory has evaporated. But I was able to recall this name and then associate it to the face in the photograph, because that memory of Mrs. DeMello was somewhere in my subconscious mind. If my subconscious mind had also evaporated that memory, then I would never recall Mrs. DeMello. Or if my subconscious mind is so crowded with so many other memories during the life that I have led, then it would be very difficult for me to access that file. The files which are not accessed very regularly are difficult to access, because I don't remember in which folder that file is. So this is what the conscious mind does for us. It sleeps and it forgets. Subconscious mind, it never sleeps, it never forgets. But the power of the conscious mind is it reasons, it decides, and it commands. Whatever the conscious mind reasons and accepts will be accepted by the subconscious mind. Whatever the conscious mind reasons and rejects will not be accepted by the subconscious mind. And you can do a small experiment with yourself right now. If I ask you to take a piece of paper and write Happy Independence Day on it, some of you will use your right hand and some of you will use your left hand, depending on whichever hand you have been using since childhood. You don't even think when you are writing which hand I should use, simply because from childhood your right hand has been programmed or your left hand has been programmed to lift up the pen and write. Now I don't need to think, how should I write? Should I use my left hand or should I use my right hand? It becomes a subconscious activity. Take another example of driving a car. When I first start learning to drive a car, I am conscious of so many things which my instructor is telling me. He's telling me, hold the steering wheel steady. He's telling me where the clutch is, where the accelerator is, where the brake is, how to shift the gears if it is not an automatic car, which is the first gear, which is second, third, fourth, fifth, if there is a fifth gear, and reverse gear. He shows me where is the switch to turn on the lights, where is the lever to turn on the wipers. So these are some of the facilities which I have when I am sitting in the driver's seat. What happens when I press the accelerator is inside the bonnet of the car. I never get to know what is getting triggered when I press the pedal of the accelerator. I don't know which mechanism is activated when I press the clutch or the brake. I don't know how the car shifts into different gears when I shift the handle. I only know how to shift the handle or how to press the pedal. And the car performs the task on its own. So, the driver is the conscious mind. The mechanism is the subconscious mind. I am the driver. I decide in my conscious mind in what direction I should take my life, and then I take my life into success or I take my life into destruction. So these are the properties of the mind, and we will see how they enable us to function in our lives. So coming back to this picture, what is a mind? Mind basically is a closed container. What is in your mind is known to you unless you decide to open up your mind and share the contents of your mind with the people around you. Till then, nobody knows what's going on in your mind. For example, I can meet Karan on the road and say, "Hi Karan, how are you?" And this is my expression openly. But in my mind, I am saying, "Karan, you shifted my program 5-6 times. You gave me a very raw treatment." Karan will never know that I am thinking negatively about him because I have never exposed the contents of my mind to him. What I have exposed is the politically correct face or facade. "Hi Karan, how are you?" So what's going on in my mind about Karan is known only to me unless I tell him, "I was upset with you. You shifted my program 5-6 times. I'm unhappy with you." Unless I tell him that, he will never know what's going on in my mind. So my mind is a container, a closed container. I have the facility to open the lid. When I open the lid, there are two things possible. Something will enter that container or something will go out of that container. Again, the choice or the control is with me. What I should allow my container to be filled with is entirely my choice. It's my container. I can fill it with chocolates. I can fill it with mud. I can fill it with toxic chemicals. I can fill it with gold, and I can fill it with utter nonsense or rubbish. Choice is mine. As I am growing up, this container starts getting filled by the society around me. And it starts getting filled in layers. Some of them are good layers and some of them are bad layers. And by and large, you will notice that the society teaches us a lot of negative things. And I'll come to that in a moment in one of the forthcoming slides. So we are programmed to think negatively. Right from childhood. Now, some of you who are familiar with the Indian movie scene would know the famous dialogue, "Ki bete so ja nahi to Gabbar Singh aa jayega." Some of you who don't understand Hindi, for them I will simply translate it in a crude way, that when the child is not sleeping, the mother threatens and says, "My child, sleep, otherwise the dacoit will come and take you away." So you have planted fear in the subconscious mind of the child by using this technique to put him to sleep. So fear becomes an operating principle in the life because the mother found that technique very successful. The child would sleep out of fear. And if this technique was used repeatedly by the mother, then the mother discovers that for her to have peace of mind and make the baby sleep, use the threat of some sort of fear. If you don't eat this vegetable, you will have worms in your stomach. And the worms will eat up your stomach. So another fear planted in your baby's mind. Unknowingly, unwittingly, the society around you fills up a lot of negatives in your jar. And you grow up with these negatives. Let's see how that affects you. I was born whole and complete. I had no preconceived notions. I had nothing filled in my mind. My conscious mind was like a clean slate. So this is how I was, whole and complete. The minute I was born and my mother picked me in her arms, she started addressing me, my Sona Raja, my Chandi, my Pittal, my Tamba, my Hira. She addressed me as a male child. So immediately the concept of male and female started getting entrenched in my mind as I started growing up. So there was a differentiation. I am a male, not a female. And in the process of growing up, as I went through education and the social environment, I realized that I am an Asian. So immediately I realized that I am not an American, I am not a European, I am not an African, I am not an Australian, I am an Asian. So from the whole and complete child that I was, born as a human being, I am now stripped down to being an Asian. And in the process of growing up, I was told that I am an Indian. So I am not a Sri Lankan, I am not a Bangladeshi, I am not a Burmese, I am not a Chinese, I am not a Pakistani, I am not an Indonesian, I am not a Malaysian, I am an Indian. And as the process of education continues, I was told I am a Tamilian. So I am not a Kashmiri, I am not a Punjabi, I am not a Gujarati, I am not a Maharashtrian, I am not a Bengali, I am not a Bihari, I am not an Andhraite, I am not a Malayali, I am a Tamilian. So I am again narrowed down to a tiny strip of existence. And in the process of growing up, I was told I am an Iyer. So I am not an Iyengar. So I decide according to my cult whether I should apply horizontal bhasma or vertical bhasma on my forehead. So that also is determined by the society in which I was born. And in the process of educating myself, I was told I am from the middle class family, I am not from the upper class, elite class, or I am not from the downtrodden or the poor class. I was told I am fat and short as compared to the average population. I'm told I am of dark skin. I'm told so many things which eventually become part of my psyche. My mind is programmed by the society around me. As if a dark skin is a blemish, as if being fat is a crime, as if being short disqualifies me for something. So my mind has been programmed by the society around me, telling me what I am or what I am not. It also programs me on the basis of my economic status, my literacy status, my religious status, and several other factors. So my mind is programmed by the society in which I am born. And I always like to give this example about an orphan. An orphan is abandoned on the street, and a couple comes and picks him up and out of compassion decides to adopt that child. Now, depending on the culture and the religious background of that couple, that child will start following what the couple teaches the child. So if I am the orphan who has been picked up by a Hindu couple, they will tell me this is Shiva or Vishnu or Ganpati, so I should pray their gods. If my parents who adopted me happened to be Muslims, they would teach me Allah is the God, so I have to pray to Allah. And if the couple happened to be Christian, they will teach me Jesus is the creator. So my programming of the mind depends on the society in which I was brought up. I had no say in it. I got programmed that way. Now, as I grow up and I start interacting with the society, I can reprogram my mind and I can change to another affinity. I find that this religion which my foster parents taught me is not comfortable for me. I go to another religion, which is my choice. So I can reprogram my mind, which is the whole subject today, how to reprogram your mind. And it's not about religion, it's about making yourself happy, healthy, and successful. So there are several ways in which your mind has been condensed. You have been condensed by the society to believe in what you are not. Instead of the society telling you, you have tremendous potential, you were born whole and complete, you are reduced to a speck of existence. Now, in life, we all have health problems. Physically, if you see, I have listed some very common, simple ailments. And you can add to the list, and you can add the complicated ailments like diabetes, cardiac symptoms, cancer, arthritis. You can go on increasing that list, and several crazy diseases can be incorporated in that physical component. Now, I have a choice. When I am suffering from physical ill health, I can either do home remedies, like if I have got cough and cold, I might apply Vicks Vapor, or I might do steam inhalation, or I can take a simple paracetamol and hope to get healed. When that doesn't work, I go to a medical practitioner and he prescribes medicines, gives me a prescription, and I take that prescription and go to a chemist, buy the medicines, and following the prescription and the regimen, I hope to get healed. So this facility is available to me. But when it comes to mental health, all these conditions exist. Most of us have experienced fear, lust, anger, greed, hatred, sorrow, jealousy, nervousness, and several other mental afflictions. But I'm sure very rarely you will find a guy who will go to a doctor and say, "Doctor, I'm getting angry. Please give me a prescription so that I can heal myself of anger." Very rarely you will find somebody going to a doctor and saying, "I'm greedy. Do you have anything for greed? I want to get myself healed of my greed." Or I have tremendous amount of hatred for many things in life. Can you cure me of my hatred? The simple reason why we don't do these things is because we don't identify these conditions of the mind as disease. Now, if you look at the word disease, it is made up of two components, dis and ease. When I am not at ease, I am having a disease. Dis-ease. But we associate disease as a word with the conditions of the physical health. We don't associate disease with the conditions of the mind. But if I am suffering from these conditions like fear, anger, greed, hatred, sorrow, jealousy, I have a mental disease. I have lived with these diseases from my childhood till today, and I don't know how to get this rectified because I don't consider them as diseases. Now, if you continue to live with a disease, what happens? It can only grow and it can start eroding you and destroying you ultimately to your end, which is what is happening with all of us because we have not identified these things as our diseases and we have never attempted to heal us or cure us of these diseases. All this leads to depletion in professional and personal performance. Now you take a simple case that I went to my office having a heated argument with my wife. And throughout the journey to the office, I have been thinking of how I was right and how she was wrong, and how she deserved my anger and my shouting back. I go to the office and there is an urgent or important work to be done, so I need to take a file and prepare the report for my boss. But half of my mind is still seething with anger and thinking about the altercation I had with my wife in the morning. So my mind is not fully concentrating on the job on hand, and I commit a mistake and I get fired or scolded or reprimanded by my boss. My professional performance got depleted. Now that compounded my anger, my resentment, and I come back home in a grumpy state of mind, and for my failure at my place of work, I come and either scold my children or I have another quarrel with my wife. So it is my disturbed mind which is destroying my life and I am not even realizing it. I have full control over how to open that lid, when to open that lid, what to fill in that jar. Now, when I am in this state, then I am taking my life in a dangerous zone. So is there a method to deal with mental health? Yes, there is a method. We will look at it. Physical health, I have a prescription and I have a treatment. Mental health, I have nothing so far. Nobody has taught me how to deal with my mental health. example of programming of mind by society. So I gave you the example of fear. In the childhood, when we did not obey our elders, some threat was created to make us comply. Repeated threat cultivated fear in our mind, which grew along with us. Situation changed, but the operating principle was fear. Now, everything in life I approach with fear. If I want to change a job, there is a fear in me. Will I get good bosses or bad bosses? Will I be sacked from the job? Will that job be stable? Will they trouble me more? So I hesitate to take decisions because fear is my operating principle. Take another example of revenge. As children, when we were distressed, our parents placated us by punishing our cause of distress. For example, I fell down on the floor and I started crying. My mother picked me up in her arms and started to placate me. But I refused to stop crying. I started bawling louder. So ultimately, out of frustration, my mother goes to the floor where I fell down and either stomps on the floor or slaps the floor and tells me, now keep quiet, my son. I have already punished the floor who beat you. Inadvertently, my mother has taught me revenge, retaliation. Now, if I successfully kept quiet at that instance, this becomes a practice by the elders around me that to satisfy me, they have to punish somebody. It could be my elder brother, it could be my younger sister, it could be the dog, it could be anybody. Somebody has to be scolded so that I keep quiet. Now I start growing up into an adult citizen who understands that retaliation and revenge is the best way to get what I want. And I develop the syndrome of I win and you lose. I'm not a team person. I start behaving like I win and you lose. I'm never a win-win candidate. So these are just two small examples. Consider this. I'm returning home from a late night movie and on a deserted street, I see three tough looking characters walking towards me. Now, I am not a karate champion that I will fight three characters. So basically, as soon as I see this situation, I realize that I am in danger and I am scared. Now, the body is built in such a way that every emotion has a chemical reaction. The chemical reaction to fear or stress is the release of adrenaline, a hormone. Adrenaline goes to the heart and it starts beating the heart faster. In the process, the heart pumps more blood to my arms and legs. Any response to a stressful situation is fight or flight. So if I have the courage and the strength in my arms, I am ready to fight these three characters for which I need extra energy that is supplied to my arms by the extra blood that is pumped to my arms by the heart, which is pumping faster under the influence of adrenaline. But if I don't want to fight and if I want to run away, then that same blood pumped faster in larger quantities goes to my legs and I have that extra energy in my legs to run away. So fight or flight is the mechanism under stress. So here adrenaline has been released and I run away. Now take your life and mine in any city. I start my day with stress. I have to go to work. Now this is a lockdown situation. The work is dwindling, income is dwindling, opportunities are dwindling. But let's take a normal situation. Oh my God, I have woken up late. I will be late for work. So I rush through, get ready, go to the office. Traffic jam. I will be late. Boss will be standing there asking me questions. Why are you late? So I am constantly dealing with one stress or the other till I return home and go to sleep. Even at home, there is no peace. I want to see a particular channel on TV. My children want to see something else. So there is some argument or exchange over whose program should be given preference. If I have multiple TVs in my house and there are few members in the house, then that problem is solved. But sometimes that is not the case. So everything is stress for me. And the only response my body knows in response to stress is adrenaline. So from the morning till night, adrenaline is pumping in my veins. My heart is beating faster. The normal heart rate is 72 beats per minute, but because of adrenaline, my heart has been beating at 85 beats per minute, 90 beats per minute, which means I am overworking my heart day in and day out. And there is something called muscle fatigue. After all, heart is a muscle. So because of this extra burden on a daily basis, my heart muscles start tiring out and one day they stop functioning. That's the day I start getting sweat on my forehead, pain in my chest, palpitations, dizziness, and I say, hey, something is wrong. So I go to the doctor and doctor says, let me take your pulse, and he finds that my pulse is racing. Then he takes my BP and he says, oh my God, you're a high BP candidate. Your BP is 160 by 100. What have you been doing? Without realizing, I have been taking a lot of stress of different things which I confront on a daily basis in my life. And that has affected my heart. So the doctor gives me 25 milligrams of a tablet. I consume that tablet for 2 years, everything is hunky-dory and fine. But that 25 milligrams of tablet is not going to improve my office situation. That 25 milligram tablet is not going to change the temperament of my wife or my children. That 25 milligram tablet is not going to change the traffic situation in Mumbai or wherever I am living. So the stressful conditions continue. Over a period of 1, 2, 3 years, my body has digested a 25 milligram daily dose and the old symptoms recur. I go back to the doctor and the doctor increases my dose to 50 milligrams. Another 2, 3 years pass and the symptoms come back because I am not dealing with the root cause, which is stress. I am getting symptomatic relief through the medication that the doctor is giving me. So again, my visit to the doctor, he puts me on angiography and he says, you have multiple blocks, you need to do angioplasty. So I do angioplasty. Another 2, 3 years pass by, the same symptoms recur. I go to the doctor, he advises bypass, I do bypass. In this process, I have been continuously consuming medicines which also have side effects. I have been spending a lot of money in buying these medicines, and for the hospitalization and angiography, plasty and bypass, I have spent tons of money for which I was slogging. So essentially, I was slogging for doctors because that money is not used by me. That money goes into my healthcare. So when I lead a stressful life, adrenaline is inevitable, cardiac condition is inevitable, medicines are inevitable, hospitalization inevitable, and I feel happy only with symptomatic relief without doing anything about the root cause. If I were to tackle the root cause, I'm not saying you will be able to change the traffic in Mumbai. I'm not saying you will be able to change the temperament of your boss or your children or your wife. But how to deal with these situations, if I know the technique, then I will reduce my stress. And the minute my stress is reduced, all these conditions vanish and I save a lot of money, which is a huge bonus. That if I can simply make my mind peaceful, so many of my conditions will subside. Now here I gave you the example of only the heart, but there are so many other chemicals released in the body under different stimulus. For example, I smell food on the street, my mouth waters. What is that watering of the mouth? It is saliva. Saliva is a chemical which was not normally present in that quantity, but it got triggered through smell. So the body has a chemical reaction to every trigger. If I am feeling happy about something, body has a trigger. If I am feeling greedy about something, the body has a trigger. If I am feeling jealous about something, the body has a trigger. So different chemicals are released under different emotional conditions, and it creates imbalance in your body chemistry, and that imbalance leads to disease. If I am able to restore the balance, that means if I am able to go to the root cause, my body chemistry will not be disturbed and I will not get any disease. In medical parlance, this is known as psychosomatic. Most of your diseases are psychosomatic. Karan put up a questionnaire in the beginning of this session in which he asked you which do you think are the diseases of the mind. Almost all your diseases are diseases of your mind. Even infection from an external bacteria or virus is because your immunity has got lowered, and your immunity got lowered because there was a disturbed chemistry in the body. The disturbed chemistry in the body was because of disturbed emotional situation in your mind. So most of the diseases are because you don't know how to control your mind or how to keep your mind in check. Now let's look at how the mind functions. There is an external stimulus. I see things, I hear things, I smell things, I taste things, and I touch things. This is possible because I have sense organs. I see with my eyes, hear with my ears, smell with the nose, taste with the tongue, and touch, feel with the skin. Now, when I am aware of what I am seeing, my conscious mind comes into the picture. So when I see something and I find that what I have seen is something that I also want, then my conscious mind starts thinking, how will I acquire it? For example, in childhood, when I went for a walk with my parents out on the streets, I saw my friend from my school walking with his parents and he had an ice cream cone in his hand. Now you imagine a 4 or 5 year old child watching his friend, contemporary, eating an ice cream cone. Immediately my response is, Mummy, I want ice cream. Now Mummy says, no. This is a rainy season. You will catch cold. You will miss school. No ice cream for you. But Mummy, that fellow is my schoolmate. See, he's having ice cream. So I want ice cream. So then your daddy comes in the picture. No. Your mommy said, no ice cream. So daddy is a little stern and firm. He says, no ice cream for you. Then I start crying. Taking it further, I throw a tantrum. What has happened? My conscious mind has programmed myself, taken a decision that I want an ice cream because it was triggered by an external stimulus. The minute my conscious mind accepts that as a command, my subconscious mind executes the action, first in the form of a request, second in the form of a demand, third in the form of showing, crying, and later on throwing tantrums. Because the subconscious mind executed the command which my conscious mind gave. So, my subconscious mind is a seat of feelings. Feelings are categorized as two, sensations and emotions. I also said that I smelled some food on the street which is of my liking. So maybe I smelled some vada pav somewhere. I didn't see the vada pav stall, but I smelled it. And I love vada pav. So the minute I got the smell of vada pav, my sensation got triggered. The sensation of smell got triggered. It tickled my memory of the vada pavs that I have eaten in my past. And that started my process of searching for where is this vada pav being made fresh. And I'm looking here and there to see where is this vada pav ka stall or gadi where I will go and eat vada pav. It changed my body chemistry. I started salivating because that smell of vada pav triggered my body chemistry. And now my organs of expression, my eyes are searching for vada pav. I have stopped walking because I want to go to the vada pav stall. So my legs have stopped, wanting to change the direction towards that vada pav stall. I am even inquiring with people, hey, vada pav kidhar milta hai idhar? So all my actions are geared towards getting that vada pav. And then ultimately, I manage to find that vada pav stall and I eat my vada pav and I satisfy myself. This is my expression to the trigger from the external stimulus. What happened externally can also happen internally. I'm walking on the street, no smell of vada pav, but I'm feeling hungry. And I remember my favorite item, vada pav, which is in my memory. So my memory starts poking me. Hey, memory acquired through repeatedly practicing eating vada pav. I love vada pav because I have been eating vada pav from my school days. So even as an office goer, today also I want vada pav. The memory is telling me, find a stall where you will get vada pav. So that subconscious mind is triggered, body chemistry is altered. I take the action, I eat vada pav. When I repeatedly do certain actions, they become a habit. As I said right at the beginning, that you as a habit sign with your right hand or your left hand, then you don't have to think. The habit takes control. You do a lot of things through habit. Some habits are good habits, some habits are bad habits. For example, you wake up in the morning and out of force of habit, you go to the bathroom and brush your teeth. You might have slept very late in the night. You might have come home from a party at 3 o'clock, you slept, you woke up at 5 o'clock, barely 2 hours of sleep. Your eyes are groggy, there is no energy in your body, yet you will drag yourself to the bathroom, pick up the toothbrush, apply the paste, and without any energy, you will still brush your teeth because you are now habituated to brushing teeth first thing in the morning. That habit was cultivated by your parents who forced you to brush your teeth every day without fail. So anything that you do repeatedly will become a habit. Cigarette smoking is a habit. You are doing it repeatedly. Now you find it difficult to give up the cigarette. You say, I am addicted to cigarette. It's nothing but a program fitted in your brain. that is making you do things. Some people very proudly say, unless I smoke a cigarette, I cannot go to the toilet in the morning. Unless I smoke a cigarette after lunch, I cannot concentrate on my work. I must have a cigarette after lunch. Now, what is this? This is just habit. You are not born with a cigarette in your mouth. This is the cultivation of your conscious mind by the society mind in which you live. Which was your society? Your friends who first enticed you into smoking a cigarette. They must have teased you. Arey, what are you behaving like a woman? Come on, come with us. Be a macho man, smoke a cigarette. That's how you first started smoking a cigarette till it became a habit, and now you're finding it difficult to break that habit. Memory is also formed by repeatedly thinking the same thing again and again and again. And by thinking the same thing, you also cultivate a pattern of thinking. So this is the way you have cultivated your life under the influence of your society, largely dictated by your conscious mind. And these trigger your subconscious mind, which triggers the body chemistry, which triggers the organs of expression, and your expressions are, or your expression is your life. All the sum total of your expressions is your life. Now let's take some examples. Here I already gave you the example of, see, I saw my friend in possession of an ice cream cone and it triggered a reaction. I heard some gossip, and that gossip is very juicy. It is about my neighbor. So the minute I hear my neighbor's name in that gossip, I am interested. What happened? Oh, I see. Oh, he did that, is it? Immediately, my body chemistry is triggered and I participate in that gossip with my eyes, animated eyes, with my face, expressions on my face, with my words and my discussion. And I become known in the society as a gossip monger because I enjoy gossip. Now that has been my practice. I have been gossiping. That's why today you will see a lot of WhatsApp messages are getting forwarded without verification. People just love sensationalism. They don't want to worry whether what they are forwarding is the truth, whether it is harmful, hurtful. People just forward without thinking. Take the third example of smell. You will see advertisements on TV, fog scent, and you will see that whenever a man applies fog scent, all the women around will come running to him. Doesn't matter if she is a single lady or a married lady. It is the power of fog scent that attracts all the ladies to him. So I start believing this kind of an advertisement. I am an adolescent, 16, 17-year-old. I see such ads on TV. There is nobody to guide me. I start believing such ads and I grow up into a person who gets triggered by these stimuli. Let's take an example of a girl marries a boy and shifts to his house. Now Indians will largely identify this, whether it's a love marriage or an arranged marriage. This is the general scenario. The girl shifts to the boy's house. Now let's look at both the families, the boy's family and the girl's family. And there are three options. Either they come from a perfect family or an average family or an imperfect family. Both of them can come from any of these three possibilities. Now, if the girl and the boy both come from a perfect family, then this is a beautiful match. Here you have perfect marrying perfect. Now imagine the opposite scenario. The boy comes from an imperfect family and the girl comes from an imperfect family. You have a disaster in marriage. Now what do I mean by imperfect? No values of life, no culture, no proper education, no niceties of life have been taught to them through their upbringing. Now I don't blame only the parents in the upbringing. It is the society in which they are born and brought up. Sometimes the parents are too busy in their work to pay attention to the child. The child gets impressioned by the relatives around or the maid around or the company that he keeps in schools and colleges. So the brain is formed not by the parents but by the company that the child keeps. Depending on the type of company, the boy or the girl develop a perfect mentality or an imperfect mentality and a spectrum in between. So such marriages will produce varied results, and you will see a very small section of perfect marriages and a very small section of disastrous marriages, and most of us are in this bracket of average to a combination of perfect and imperfect. Let's see how this translates. So here is a husband's house. If you notice that the husband's mentality, his subconscious mind, is created and it is depicted in this slide by an off-white color. So there is an external stimulus which programmed his conscious mind through his upbringing. So he has a pattern of thinking, and his pattern of thinking generates emotions in his mind. Those emotions trigger his endocrines, which is body chemistry, which executes actions. His actions become his life. His life is his expressions. His expression. Now, suppose I have a habit of abusive language. It has been in my program because I have seen and heard people in my upbringing who are using abusive language. So my thought is abusive language is nothing bad. It's common. Even my parents use it. Even my teachers I have seen. My friends are using it. So I have cultivated the habit of using abusive language, and abusing becomes a pattern of my life. Now here walks in a newly wed girl into this family. She comes with a different background. Her parents come with a different background, and that's why I've shown this in light green color. This different background is because of the sense organs of that girl. She has picked up patterns from the society in which she was born, and she developed a certain pattern of thoughts. Now she has walked into this house which has an off-white pattern of thoughts, and she has light green pattern of thoughts. Now they don't match, so her thoughts are now in conflict. For example, she comes from a house where waking up at 5 o'clock in a very disciplined manner is the norm. Now she comes into the house of the boy where people wake up at any time because that is their habit. Now her thoughts do not match with these thoughts, and now there is a conflict. So now she has a confusion of thoughts. Her upbringing was light green. Now she meets an off-white, and now her thoughts have become dark green. She is now confused how to deal with the situation. The same thing happens with the subconscious mind, because her subconscious mind was patterned to light green color. Now her thoughts are dark green, so the subconscious mind is trying to adjust to this new environment. Now there is a mismatch of her subconscious mind with the subconscious mind of the husband she has married, and if she is living in a family, then the people around the husband. So here is the first genesis of conflict. Her habits and memories are from her mother's house, but her subconscious mind now is in turmoil because it is coming into contact with the emotions of the family into which she has married. Because of that, her body chemistry is also in turmoil, and because of that, her expressions are also in turmoil. Many a times you will find that she is in a confused state. What do I do now? How do I deal with this? And for her, the confidence level is her own mother's house, so she goes back to her parents to ask for help. And this is another problem, because the parents come with their background and they start sometimes prodding the girl. You should behave like this, you should not do this, you should do this, don't listen to your mother-in-law, pamper your husband. All these kind of things will start coming from the mother's input, and you have an issue in a marriage. Many of us get married without understanding what am I getting into, what is marriage, what am I looking for in a marriage. And we just plunge headlong into marriage without realizing these kind of conflicts that we are entering into. Am I capable of resolving these conflicts? Because these conflicts are bound to occur. It's a very rare case where you will find perfect matches where the backgrounds of both the sets of parents is identical and both the children come from identical mindsets. When the mindsets clash, there are bound to be clashes in the system. So this is one other situation that you need to deal with. Now when I come to reprogramming the mind, what do I do? The reprogram is done only in the conscious mind, because it is your thoughts that create the rest of the story down the line. The minute you are able to control thoughts, you are able to control your mind and you are able to control your life. Now this is very easily said than done. Try to control your thoughts and you will discover that it's almost impossible. An average human being thinks one thought per second, which means 60 thoughts a minute, and there are 1,440 minutes in a day. So can you imagine how many thoughts the person is thinking? 70,000 thoughts, which is a huge amount of mental work, naturally you are mentally fatigued. Nobody taught you how to control thoughts. And this is where the reprogramming of the mind comes in. What we teach is meditational techniques which enable you to take charge of your mind. The minute you have succeeded in calming down your mind, the questioning mind stops, the decision-making mind stops, the commanding mind stops, and whatever you are chanting in your meditation becomes the program for the subconscious mind. Your emotions are thus ruled. So if you are a negative person who is constantly complaining and whining, oh, I want to do this, but this country is not supporting me. I am in a lousy country. Or my parents are not supporting me. Or my college is useless. My teachers are greedy. They want to teach only in tuitions. They don't teach in class. You come out with a lot of complaints. And you believe your complaints. And therefore your progress is hindered. If these complaints from your conscious mind were absent, you would accept the situation and make the most of it, because the subconscious mind is guided by the universal mind, which is God's mind. And God's mind is always progressive. God's mind doesn't like you to fail. God's mind allows you to succeed. But it is your conscious mind guided by society that prevents you from success by planting a lot of questions and doubts in your mind. Once I am able to clean up this part of my mind, I am able to guide the future course of my life. This is the key. Block your conscious mind from generating thoughts. And this is the next step of our process today, reprogramming the mind through meditation. So meditation is what we will practice. Karan, you would like to take some questions now?
Yes, if we can. If we can. Thank
you. If anybody has any questions, if anything is not understood, if you have a situation in life which you want to understand, then maybe I can contribute in some way. And
yes, sure.
Into
whoever wants to ask questions, just use the raise hand button so I can take your questions. Zoha Fatima, you can unmute yourself. I believe you have a question.
Hi, sir. So I have two questions. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. One is, like, they're very obvious questions, but I don't think I've found an answer to them. So one is, if habits are formed just by repetition of the activity or action, then why can't we get habituated to keep working or study? And my other question is, basically, if we form a habit and we want to change it, how can we change it?
Okay, good questions, excellent questions. Why do we not change bad habits is the essence of your first question. When we know that habits are, like I know that cigarette smoking is injurious to health. So why am I not able to give up cigarette smoking? Take the example of climbing a mountain. If I'm climbing a mountain, I will sweat, I will exert, I will toil. Eventually I may succeed. If I'm carrying a suitcase in my hand and if the goal is to take that suitcase to the top of the mountain, I will exert in carrying that suitcase up the mountain. And it is a lot of trouble for me in taking that suitcase up. But if I have to throw the suitcase down, there is no trouble. I just have to kick the suitcase and gravity will do the job. So coming down in life is very easy. Climbing up in life is a lot of effort, and usually human beings like to take the shortcut or avoid the effort. I am very comfortable if I can get success sitting at home. The minute you ask me to do work, if I am forced, I will do it. If I am not forced, I will take it easy. Now, who will force you? Either somebody can force you from external environment, which means you are a slave to that somebody, he's driving you, or you can force yourself, which means it is your willingness to exert to succeed. Now, the key word that is missing here is we don't have the willpower. The willpower to achieve. We have a lot of wishes, but we don't have the will to execute the actions necessary to fulfill those wishes. I wish to be the first ranker in the university, but do I have the willpower to study as hard? And do I have the willingness to accept that only one person can get the first rank? Two persons cannot get the first rank. So I must have the willpower to succeed. That is part of your first question. Can you repeat your second question? Hello?
Zoha, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Thank you for answering the first one. My second question was, how do we change a habit?
How do I change?
Like, if I'm a night owl and I want to switch to being a morning person, I know what to do,
How do
but
I?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, there is a simple technique for that. Anything that you do for 21 to 30 days continuously without a break becomes a habit. So the first 21 to 30 days are crucial. For example, if I am a smoker, then if I stop smoking for 21 days continuously, the chances that I will get that kick to feel like smoking will start reducing. I will show you in the next slide how that happens. Yeah. Technique I have described to you that anything that you repeat for 21. So for example, if you are an erratic waker, you wake up sometimes at 5 o'clock, sometimes at 8 o'clock, sometimes at 10 o'clock, and you want to discipline yourself to waking up at a particular time. People even set their alarms. When the alarm rings, they shut the alarm and go back to sleep. So if you say that for 21 days, I will wake up at 5 o'clock as soon as the alarm rings without the temptation of let me lie down for 5 more minutes. If you do that for 21 days, chances are 22nd day you will get up even before the alarm rings. So that's one practical way of cultivating new habits. I hope I have answered you, but there is a slide that comes up which will tell you more about this.
There are people asking how do they sort of practice deep thinking and stop overthinking. That's why Vishal and Sakshi.
That is coming in the meditation part of it.
Okay. Okay.
When we do the practical guided session, you will automatically know.
Okay. Then we can. You'd like to take any more questions, or you'd like to continue with the guided meditation, Pravinji?
Can I continue?
Yes. Yes. Of course.
4 participants raised hands.
Yeah. Would you like to take the question now?
I'll take the questions.
Okay. Gunashekar, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sir, I just previously, I've just from 1 year before, I'm just reading this subconscious concepts, a lot about subconscious concepts and all. Hello.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can you say that again?
Sir, 1 year, from past 1 year, I'm just reading a lot about this subconscious mind concept and all.
Okay.
And the more and more I read into it, that more and more I'm getting skeptical about it, sir. How can I believe? I'm not able to believe it completely. So, how can I believe it, sir? The mind, the subconscious.
Gunashekar, do you ride a bicycle?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Swim?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Swim.
Yes, sir. I do.
You can swim, right?
Yes, sir.
If you had attended lectures in a college on swimming or bicycle riding, would you have succeeded in riding a bicycle or swimming?
No, sir.
No, you have to actually do it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So by reading books on the subconscious mind, nothing is going to happen. Unless you practice the techniques of guiding your subconscious mind, one of which I will briefly explain in the coming session of guided meditation.
Okay, sir.
And if you practice that daily at home, and I will give you the prescription how to do that, then you will see noticeable changes in the first month itself. And if you sustain the practice, you will be able to turn your life around 180 degrees.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
3 participants have raised their hands. You want me to continue or answer?
I think you can continue.
Okay, I'll take the questions later on after the session is over. And if people want to leave, then they are free to leave. And people who want to ask questions, you can ask me questions after the session. I will wait for as long as you want me to wait. Okay, is that fair? So, let's look at this experiment of glass and water. Here is my glass. What is this glass? This glass is a container with all the dirt in it. There is a dirty water in this container. That container is a representative of the mind. Now in this glass I am pouring Bisleri. Pure water I am pouring. So the dirt is getting diluted as I add pure water to the dirty water in the glass. And as I continue pouring water in it, the glass starts overflowing and the dirt starts getting thrown out. And eventually, I will come to a stage, if I continue, sustain pouring clean water in that glass, ultimately the glass will have clean water. The glass with the dirty water is my mind programmed up to today. The bottle of Bisleri is the technique of meditation. The contents in the bottle are the meditational chants or affirmations as we call them. When I open that water of Bisleri, tilt the bottle and start pouring the water in the glass, I am actually practicing the techniques of meditation. If I sustain the practice of meditation on a daily basis, eventually the dirt from my mind will be thrown out. But this is too linear a way of explaining, because every day I will meditate for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. But I will go out into the society for 16, 17 hours and the society will throw garbage back into my mind. So, number one, by practicing meditation, I will quickly be able to understand what is garbage and I will keep my container closed so no garbage enters. Number two, if the garbage does enter my container, I still have a technique of how to purify that container by pouring more and more of meditation. And this is how I clean up my mind. And this is exactly what we are going to learn today. Yeah. So cleaning the mind, the technique is meditation. First, listen to the instructions very carefully, and then I will take you through the steps of meditation in the next 15 minutes. First is the posture. Unless you are comfortable in the body, your meditation can never succeed. If you have a backache or a neck ache or you have some scratch, feel the itch, you feel like scratching somewhere here and there, then you are disturbing your meditation. So what is important is that you must be comfortably dressed so that you are not uncomfortable. You can sit on a chair if chair is comfortable for you, or you can sit on the floor cross-legged position if you find that comfortable. Your body should be completely relaxed, and I will show you how to relax the body. Then you have to establish the rhythm of the breath. This is an important step in meditation. Whenever you are meditating, your breath is important. Your breath should be smooth and even. You should not have erratic breathing, like sometimes you take a deep breath and sometimes you take very shallow breaths. For the entire duration of meditation, whether it is 20 minutes or more, you must have rhythmic, even, uniform breathing. After you have sat still, your body is comfortable and relaxed, and you have established the rhythm of the breathing, then you must focus your attention on the mind. You must actually watch your mind and be a spectator. You are not a player. You are not going to appeal for the catch. You are not going to appeal for LBW, or you are not going to participate in the game. You are watching from the stands. So watch the game of thinking as it happens in your mind. And I will give you a demo of that also. After having done that, you have to chant certain things which are positive. Now you can write your own affirmations to suit your life conditions, depending on the problem that you are facing in your life. I'll give another example of that too. And you memorize that affirmation and chant that affirmation. Many a times people who sit for meditation chant some mantras. But the problem with mantras is you don't know the meaning of the mantras. So your conscious mind doesn't know what to expect from that mantra and what communication should go to your subconscious mind. For example, if you are chanting something like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now this is, you are chanting a name of Vishnu. Now what is the purpose of chanting name of Vishnu in your life when you are facing a financial crisis? There is no connecting message going to your subconscious mind how to deal with your financial crisis. So that kind of chanting and meditation does not make sense to you, because that mantra given to you by maybe some guru or some swami has no connection with your life, and therefore your meditation fails. So your chanting and your affirmation has to be meaningful and associated with the issue you are dealing with in life. If you are dealing with arthritis, let us say, or you are dealing with cancer, then your affirmation should deal with that problem in your life. So we will see how to design affirmations. And then After doing all these steps, you must be able to connect with your inner self. And that is the key. And this doesn't happen overnight. As I said, it takes you minimum 21 to 30 days of practice. Once you start getting the liking to this subject, then it will become as automatic as brushing your teeth. Meditation will become an inseparable part of your life. You have to cultivate this habit of brushing your teeth. Meditation should be like brushing your teeth. So let us practice this so that you get a feel of what is meditation. Karan, can we go ahead?
Yes, please. Yes, absolutely.
So all of you, if you are sitting on a chair, sit straight. When I say sit straight, I'm going to tilt so that you can see what is straight. Your head, neck and spine should be aligned. You should not stoop forward. Most of us, especially city dwellers, have a habit of stooping forward. The head weight is dropping down. You will soon develop shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, and that will disrupt your meditation. What is a good way of sitting straight? Your hands, you must keep them resting on your thighs, very near your waist, so that your shoulders are square and the shoulders form the hanger on which your spine is hanging, which means there is a less tendency of stooping forward. If your hands are reaching your knees, which is what most of the poses in meditation are shown, that people are sitting with their hands resting on the knees, then there is a tendency to stoop forward and you cultivate pain in your spinal structure. So sit with your hands very near to your pelvis, resting on your thighs, resting, so there is no strain. Your shoulders are square. In this way, you will be able to sit for long hours. Now, the other thing that disrupts the posture is if you are sitting on a hard chair, then the hardness of the surface will start hurting your buttocks. And then you will try to shift from one side to the other after 10-15 minutes. That disturbs your meditation. So it's a good idea to take a small cushion under your buttocks. If you are sitting on the floor, take a larger cushion because that will elevate your buttocks to a higher level. Your knees will be lower and blood circulation in the thighs will be better. Because if you are sitting straight on the floor, your knees are up and the circulation is hampered and you develop cramps in your thighs and legs. That also disturbs meditation. So posture is very important in meditation. See that your posture is not disturbed. So can you all sit straight? See that your weight is uniformly distributed on both the buttocks. Touch your heels. Both the heels should be touching. Feet can be apart. Knees can be apart. Hands resting on your knees near the pelvis. Shoulders square. Back, neck and head straight and aligned. So this is your posture. Now, a clue how to practice posture. From today, sitting at home, you program yourself for 5 minutes. Can you sit still for 5 minutes? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, till next Saturday, 7 days, you go on increasing the time by 2 minutes. So today you sit for 5 minutes, tomorrow 7 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, 13 minutes, 15 minutes. You go on practicing till you reach comfortably sitting straight without movement of your body for minimum 20 minutes. Any meditation practice less than 20 minutes is meaningless. Any practice of meditation less than 20 minutes is meaningless. So learn to sit still for 20 minutes. Now, how to relax the body? You sit in this posture and take a deep breath. And as you exhale, with your eyes closed, you mentally go through each part of your body. Think of the neck, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. And feel whether they are tense or relaxed. If you feel they are tense, relax them. In the same posture, you relax them. Then take another deep breath and concentrate on your chest and spine. See that the spine is aligned with the neck and the head. And feel that it is relaxed. Take another deep breath and focus on your thighs, knees, legs and feet. And see that they are relaxed. If you are sitting cross-legged on the floor, the ankle bones will be hurting on the hard floor. So you can provide some packing or padding under your ankle bones so that your ankle bones will not start hurting you when you are sitting on the floor. So this is sitting still and relaxing the body. The third step is establish a rhythm of the breath. Now, if you are already sitting in the posture, close your eyes. All of you close your eyes and focus on your nostrils. And just listen to my instructions. Feel the air touch your nostrils As you inhale, feel the air touch your nostrils. As you exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep watching your breath. Establish a rhythm in your breathing. Smooth, uniform, rhythmic, harmonious breathing. The time for inhalation should be approximately equal to the time for exhalation. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now with your eyes closed, shift your pupils upwards into your forehead. Look upwards with closed eyes. Watch your thoughts. Let the thoughts come. Let the thoughts go. Do not interact. Do not participate with the thoughts. Just watch. Do not try to think. Do not try not to think. Your body is perfectly still. Your body is relaxed. Your breath is uniform and even. And you're calming down your mind. To help calm the mind, you can chant aloud, peace, peace, peace. If you are comfortable with Shanti, you can chant Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Having prepared yourself for meditation, chant some affirmations. Here is a sample. I am strong. I am powerful. I am healthy. I am happy. I am harmonious. I am enthusiastic. I am energetic. I am result oriented. I am grateful. I am a giver. I like to make people happy. I am cooperative. I am helpful. So you can go on expanding this. You can create your own affirmation. Now, how does this affirmation work? Let me take you back to the diagram of your mind. Now, you are chanting aloud so that your ears can hear what you are chanting. You have calmed down your conscious mind. So your conscious mind is not raising an objection. For example, when you are saying powerful, your conscious mind can interrupt you and say what kind of powerful you are. Your wife doesn't listen to you. Your children don't listen to you. Why are you saying you're powerful? The minute your conscious mind comes into play and objects to your statement, I am powerful, that statement, I am powerful, does not enter your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is guided by God's mind. When you allow that statement to enter your subconscious mind, the subconscious mind says, hey, this man is saying I am powerful. Can you help me? How do I become powerful? Then God directs you, or the universal mind directs you how to become powerful. Your emotions are guided not by the society, but by the universe. And then your emotions show you the way of what actions to be taken so that you become powerful. Sometimes the action that you take is simply silence. When you don't retaliate to your enemy, the enemy loses his power and you become powerful. We don't believe in silence. We want to counter with a counter argument, and that complicates the issue, and sometimes our argument falls weaker than the opponent's argument. And sometimes silence is better than words. So you get the guidance from the universe through your subconscious mind as to what actions you should take. So chanting aloud sensible things which matter to you in your life, making you hear through your physical ears, not objecting to what you are chanting, will reprogram your subconscious mind, and that will reprogram your life. Did you get this? This is a simple method. Now, if you have practical difficulties and you need specific answers for practical difficulties, you can ask. I don't know Karan's time frame, so Karan, you can.
So we can maybe take a couple questions, and they can always ask us questions. We've got a platform where they can ask us questions, and we can take it moving forward. So Asha, Nigam, if you'd like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to know on what basis do we, did you say that we, in 21 days or 30 days between that time frame, you can, change your habit? Or
it is a statistical finding that generally habits are formed if you do certain things disciplined for 21 days.
I see.
It's only a statistical finding. Now, for you, it might take 19 days, or for somebody, it might take 35 days.
There's one more question, sir. When we're doing our pranayama, when we're doing our breathing for the meditation, you say that you can feel the air when you inhale and feel the air when you exhale. But we've developed the habit of exhaling through our mouth. So we cannot, I cannot focus on exhaling through my nostrils,
Is it your normal practice to exhale through the mouth?
No, sir, but during our study in class, we had learned to inhale through our nose.
That is your breathing exercises. They are not to be mixed with your meditational practice. Your meditational practice has a different prescription. You inhale through the nose, you exhale through the nose.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you, sir.
Alok Joshi.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, there is you also mentioned this, and everybody was writing something in chat box. It's a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, I quit smoking in one day only. It was like I was smoking for before that for almost 3 years.
Great.
And sometimes it became very rigorous. But in one day I realized something, and the second day I stopped smoking, and it did not cause me even a single side effect.
So that is called willpower.
Yeah, but the same willpower is not working for the other things, like overcoming my financial blocks or my health blocks. It's not working the same way.
True, because the temptation of that subject is more overpowering than your willpower. For example, like you said, you quit smoking in one day. I put a date for you, 15th April 1989. On that particular day, I quit smoking, drinking, and non-vegetarian all in one day. and I had been smoking for 10 years and eating non-vegetarian stuff from my childhood, from birth, because we were a non-vegetarian family. And I was drinking alcohol along with my smoking for 10 years. 15th April 1989, I gave up all three in one day. But you asked me to give up gulab jamun, even today I can't.
Okay.
That the weakness for my gulab jamun sweets is more overpowering than the weakness for cigarette or alcohol. So I need greater willpower to give up gulab jamun.
So will meditation help me out in developing
Yes,
that
it
willpower
does.
to increase the degree of it?
Meditation calms down your desires. Desires arise in thoughts. When the thoughts are, did you practice when we were doing this small guided thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the two ones are two tables?
Yeah.
Okay. When we were practicing these things, I'm sure there were a lot of thoughts in your mind. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you to do certain thing as an example for the entire class. Chant 2 ones are 2 in the rhythm of your breath. Let me demonstrate to you how. So you cannot chant when you are inhaling. You can chant only when you are exhaling. So you inhale, and as you exhale, you say 2 ones are 2. Then inhale. As you exhale, you say 2 twos are 4. Can you do that up to 10?
Yeah.
Please do.
Then.
Please do.
So I need to speak it out?
Just sit straight and chant 2 ones are 2.
2 ones are 2.
Go ahead.
2 twos are 4. 2 threes are 6. 2 fours are 8. 2 fives are 10. 2 sixes are 12. 2 sevens are 14. 2 eights are 16. 2 nines are 18. 2 tens are 20.
Can you tell me the thoughts, different thoughts that went through your mind when you were chanting this?
Nothing.
Thank you. This is the technique of meditation. When you memorize an affirmation and chant, your mind is focused on the affirmation. If that affirmation is meaningful to the problem you are addressing in your life, the problem starts vanishing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome.
We'll take one last question, if you don't mind, Pravinji. Misha Kamath. Misha, you'd like to unmute yourself? Okay. Jinal Joshi.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Misha.
Yeah, Misha.
Hi. I just wanted to know when we talk about something like, just watch your thoughts. What do you mean by just watch your thoughts without being a part of your thoughts? Because your thoughts are inside.
Let me demonstrate to you. Let me demonstrate.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm sitting for meditation. I am chanting. Yeah.
Right.
Let's say I'm chanting. I am happy. I am harmonious. I am, oh God, tomorrow I have got guests for dinner. And they are vegetarian people. Make paneer palak and aloo chole. I got the first thought and that triggered a chain of thoughts. It happened to my meditation.
Right. It got disrupted.
It went down the drain, right?
Right, right.
How do I get rid of this chain of thoughts? Again, watch. I am happy. I am harmonious. Oh God, tomorrow guests are coming for dinner. Get out. Physically tell that thought to get out.
Okay.
When you cultivate this habit to nip the first thought in the bud, over a period of 2, 3, 4 weeks, you will discover that you are able to calm down your mind.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Overnight, it needs practice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Physically
Thank you.
tell your thought to get lost.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, I know there's a lot of questions everyone has, but there's only so much time that we have. So what you can do
on email, you can ask me questions on email. I will answer all your questions.
exactly. So you'd like Pravinji would love it if you can continue your journey with him and us, of course. And he is available on Instagram and the details he had posted some time ago. We also have a small group on Facebook which we started based on a lot of inquiries by a lot of y'all. So this group allows you to ask these questions that you have, and you can share it with the community, and the community can answer it as well. So I'm posting it on the chat as well as in the feedback form. So you can join the community and ask your questions or share your positive experience or your affirmations, and we can always get back to you using this medium. So you can stay connected to the community with Pratibim Life and Breath on Instagram, and of course, Pravinji, I know this we ended up having an hour and a half session, but honestly it didn't feel that way. The guided meditation was really inspiring, and I think uplifting and inspiring. So thank you honestly for an amazing session. This is the longest session we've had, but honestly it didn't feel that way. So thank you so much for your time, effort, energy, and positivity to share with all of us. So really appreciate it.
Thank you, Karan. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you all of you for your patience.
Yes.
Take care. Safe.
Yes, and those of you we've got a lot of sessions planned. They are in art, in hiking, in photography, in fitness. All of these are with inspiring people sharing their experiences. So tomorrow we've got an upcycling Ganpati. So decorations that we need using only recycled stuff that we have at home, or the stuff we have at home which we would usually throw for waste. So that helps the environment and of course helps with the decorations. And many more sessions. We have a session on using color to improve your life. This is by Nicole Viji. That's on 30th of August. So join in for any of these. And thank you again, Pravinji. This was really nice.
Thank you so much. I take your leave now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We will be sharing the feedback form, everyone. So you all can use that and stay in touch. Thank you very much.